In Florida and more than a dozen other states, you have the right to stand your ground. In 2005, Florida was the first state to enact a law pushed by the National Rifle Association using the concept of standing your ground in self-defense. Arthur Hayhoe, director of the Florida Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, calls the law, quote, a right to commit murder. For the last 22 days, George Zimmerman has been hiding behind Florida's Stand Your Ground law. This is a 911 call placed by George Zimmerman on the night that he shot and killed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. This tape tells us everything George Zimmerman knew about Trayvon Martin before he shot him.
Hey, we've had some break-ins in my neighborhood, and there's a real suspicious guy. It's Retrieve View Circle. The best address I can give you is 111 Retrieve View Circle. This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining, and he's just walking around looking about.
Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He looks black.
Did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah, a dark hoodie, like a gray hoodie, and either jeans or sweatpants and white tennis shoes. He's here now. He was just staring.
Oh, he's just walking around the area?
At all the houses.
Okay.
And now he's just staring at me. He's got his hand in his waistband. Yeah, he's a black male.
Okay. How old would you say he looks?
He's got a button on his shirt. Late teens.
Late teens, okay.
Mm-hmm. Something's wrong with him. Yeah. He's coming to check me out. He's got something in his hands. I don't know what his deal is.
Okay, just let me know if he does anything, okay?
Over here.
Yeah, we got him on the way. Just let me know if this guy does anything else.
Okay. They always get away. Down towards the other entrance of the neighborhood.
Okay, which entrance is that he's heading towards?
The back entrance.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
But George Zimmerman defied the police and continued to follow Trayvon Martin. The next thing we know is that more 911 calls started pouring into the police from witnesses in the neighborhood who were hearing screaming.
911, do you need police, fire, medical?
Maybe both. I'm not sure. There's just someone screaming outside.
Okay, what's the address that they're near? Okay, and is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
Okay, and you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know. Just send someone quick. Say stop.
Okay, does he look hurt?
I can't see him. I don't want to go out there. I don't know what's going on, so they're sending.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right, what is your phone number?
There's gunshots.
You just heard gunshots?
Yes.
How many?
There's one. Jeremy, get down. No, come here.
Is he no longer yelling?
No one, I don't know. Jeremy, get in here now. Jeremy, get up here.
All right, is he right outside?
Yeah, pretty much out the back, yeah.
Is he in front of it or behind that address?
He's behind my house.
Okay.
Just stay away from the windows.
I don't hear him yelling anymore.
Today, the Congressional Black Caucus called on the Justice Department to step in and conduct the investigation that the local police have so far refused to do. Joining me now, Congressional Black Caucus member, Congresswoman Corrine Brown, who represents the district where Trayvon Martin was killed, and former United States Attorney for New York, Dan French. Congresswoman Brown, do you have the support of Governor Rick Scott and others in Florida for this kind of investigation?
Now, I have the support of the mayor of Sanford, Florida, and I've talked with him. I spent 5 hours with him and the city councilwoman, and The mayor will be here tomorrow, and we have a meeting with the United States Justice Department.
In Washington?
In Washington.
The mayor is coming up here for that?
That's correct.
Has the governor said anything about this?
I have not talked with the governor.
Dan French, you're a former prosecutor. The facts as you hear them presented so far, what would you do with this case?
The United States has a hate crimes law, and it's a very simple statute. If you hurt or kill somebody because of their race, it's a hate crime. If you kill them, you can face life in prison. The Justice Department has the authority to investigate those cases in the interest of justice. I think in this case, you have that. You certainly have.
That's just, let me stop you on that. In the interest of justice, that's a guideline phrase in federal law for federal prosecutors when they're looking at these different cases and they say why this one, why that one. Sometimes there's in fact, community outrage, as in this case, is taken into consideration in what they call in the interest of justice.
And that's exactly right, because you could have a situation where the state asks you to investigate it or the locals ask you to investigate it. If neither of those happen,
don't, you can still.
In the interest of public justice. And that's all you need here. And the Congresswoman has asked for an investigation. We know that the chief of police and the mayor seemingly want a meeting with the Justice Department. The Justice Department has the authority to investigate, and I predict tomorrow you're going to hear, or soon thereafter, that they're going to investigate this case.
The law that Florida enacted in 2005 is, depending on what the witness situation is, a license to kill. If you don't have witnesses who can contradict your story, it sounds like there's nothing you can't get away with in Florida.
The key here is that there is no good ending to this. We have a baby that's dead. Any parent nightmare. In addition to that, the young man can never tell his side of what happened. And clearly, you have, and I've been listening to the news, and you're saying that you had, this person was a self-appointed. Clearly, he had not gone through the training of a neighborhood watch, because the police asked him to stand down. He did not. And 5 minutes later, this boy is dead.
Could you see this coming? The Orlando Sentinel did an article the other day saying that in the 5 months after this law was enacted, there were at least 13 shootings in Central Florida where self-defense was claimed. Out of 6 men killed and 4 more wounded. Out of 10 shot, only 1 of them was actually armed. That's just in the first 5 months after the 2005 enactment.
Listen, I think it's something wrong with this underlying bill.
Yes.
And as we speak, he still can have a gun. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because he was not arrested. Now, if this happens on a police force, you automatically ask the police officer, he get a desk duty when the investigation is going on. That is not even true with this case. That person still have the right to carry a gun and have the license that have not been revoked. There's something wrong with this picture.
Dan French, take this case out of Florida, bring it into New York, where you used to be a prosecutor. New York state law. What would happen?
In New York and really in the vast majority of states, there's something called the duty to retreat.
Duty to retreat. In self-defense.
In self-defense. And then if you ultimately are charged with a crime, it's an affirmative defense that you did self-defend yourself. Florida's really turned it on its head. So in Florida, what happened? So
the question of what you did in self-defense becomes an issue if you're charged with a crime in a place like New York State or 30 other states.
Correct. It's an affirmative defense that you bring at trial. Florida flipped it around. So in Florida, if you stand your ground and you kill somebody, in this case, if that's the claim, they stood their ground and they killed that person, before the police can bring that case, they have to demonstrate there was probable cause to believe that your conduct, the force you used, was inappropriate. They took it a step further under Florida law. There's a hearing that has to occur before you get to trial. A judge will sit and decide whether your force was appropriate. So they've turned that entire system on its head, or at least how it is in most other states.
Completely empowering the man with the gun.
Well, it shifts the burden. It puts the burden in a different place.
But I mean, come on. This young man was visiting his daddy and was walking home from the 7-Eleven. He was not doing anything. I mean, in America, I mean, you're not safe to walk your streets home and the police asked you to step down, you did not. This case have not been handled properly. So the person told the officer, well, he was the aggressor. But my question to you is, well, what was he doing? Mm-hmm. I mean, why did you pursue him? He was walking home. Was he committing any crime? No.
Well, we know
There's
from this
something
tape,
wrong with this.
We know from this tape everything he knew about Trayvon Martin, and this is it. He looks black. That's it. That's everything he knew. From what you're hearing in these tapes, Dan French, do you see the elements to make a hate crime case here? Because that's the only thing he knew about who he shot.
There's only two elements. They couldn't have written a more simple federal statute. There's two elements. If you commit a crime, you willfully do it, you injure somebody or you kill them because of their race, that's a hate crime. And if you kill them, you face life imprisonment. That's it. It's that simple. In the U.S. Department of Justice, the Attorney General has the right to investigate that case in the interest of justice. I think in this case, there is an interest in justice in doing so. The Congresswoman has asked for this. The Black Caucus has asked for it. More importantly, you have the mayor of that city flying here tomorrow to talk to the Justice Department. I think you're going to see the Justice Department turn around and investigate this quickly. And I think you're going to hear about it quickly.
Before you leave tonight, could you take some time to brief Congresswoman Brown about the hate crime statute? Take that hate crime statute into the Justice Department tomorrow. Let's hear what they say.
You know what my mother said about this? She said she thought we was past this.
Should be past this. Should be long past this. I really want to hear tomorrow what they say about the hate crime statute in the Justice Department. Congresswoman Corrine Brown and former federal prosecutor Dan French, thank you both very much for coming in tonight.
Thank you.
We have much more to come on this case coming up, including what the local police chief said about Trayvon Martin. Mark Thompson of Make It Plain on Sirius XM Radio and Jonathan Capehart will be my next guests.